Hi everyone, it's Paddy here from arithmetichub.com, thanking you for choosing this video, but reminding you that whilst this is one method to solve questions like this, it's not the only method. With that being said, let's explore this concept a little bit further. Hi everyone, so today we're having a look at the shape style questions that you may encounter when you're doing your calculations. Now, these are some examples of the shape style questions. Obviously if you're in year like 3 and 4, you're doing those types of calculations, these are going to be different to when you're doing these calculations over here. But actually, once you've learned how many sides are in each two-sided shape, these types of questions aren't even going to be that difficult either, because it's just a case of multiplication and then an addition or a subtraction. So, to start with, we've got questions like this. What's the name of a 10-sided shape? Then we move on to multiplying and dividing, adding and subtracting with them. And finally, we end up where we're doing two steps in terms of a multiplication and an addition, maybe a multiplication and a subtraction, those kinds of things like that. So let's have a look at our method for this. Now, our method for this is, I think, quite interesting, because usually I would give you some sort of way to solve these types of questions. Here, the best thing I could come up with for a method was learn how many sides are in each 2D shape. And it's as simple as that, really. But what I would do if I was you, say for example I was doing this in a calculations book, what I would do is I would pause this video right there, or go onto the website and have a look for the little bit that says the method section for these types of questions. And what I've done is I've written down the amount of sides on each of the 2D shapes. Now some of them, if you're for example again in year 3 and 4, you might not have come across these yet. That's absolutely fine. You'll be coming across them maybe in years 4, 5 and 6 as you go through the school. So you might not need to worry about them too much just yet. But it's helpful to have seen these words before, okay? And then we've got your 3-sided shape, your 4-sided shapes, your 5-sided shapes, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10-sided shapes, and the names of them. And it's just really handy to be able to recognise these and to be able to say, oh, okay, I know what a 7-sided shape is called. It's called a heptagon, for example. So we're going to start off by going through these, okay? So again, if I'm saying things that maybe you think, okay, I'm not sure about these, that's all right. It might just be that these are for later years that you will look at, okay? So 3-sided shapes are called triangles. But then you have the types of triangle as well. So 3-sided shapes are called triangles. You might have equilateral triangles, you might have scalene triangles, you might have right angle triangles, and you might have isosceles triangles. But all those are just types of triangle. Triangle is a 3-sided shape. Then you've got 4-sided shapes. So 4-sided shapes, the name for all the 4-sided shapes are quadrilaterals. And when I think of quadrilaterals, I think of things like a quad bike. A quad bike has got 4 wheels, but a quadrilateral is a 4-sided shape. There are 6 examples of quadrilaterals, or 6 main examples. The 6 main examples would be squares, rectangles, trapezium, rhombus, kite, and parallelogram, okay? But to start with, you might just be focusing on squares and rectangles, okay? They're the 6 different types of 4-sided shapes, and they're all together called quadrilaterals. 5-sided shapes are called pentagons. 6-sided shapes are called hexagons, and actually I find it's really interesting and really helpful to remember hexagon has an X in it like 6 does. So hexagon has an X in, so does 6, and I find that a helpful way to remember it. 7-sided shapes are called heptagons. The only helpful way to memorise these I've found is maybe heptas like sept if you do French, which is 7. Heptagons have 7 sides, okay? 8-sided shapes are called octagons. Think of an octopus has 8 arms, okay? Octagons have 8 sides, octopuses have 8 arms, okay? 9-sided shapes are called nonagons, okay? Non sounds like 9, okay? 9-sided shapes are nonagons. Nonagons have 9 sides. And 10-sided shapes are decagons. Decagons like decade. A decade is 10 years. 10-sided shape is called a decagon, okay? So, we've had a really quick run through these. You're probably going to need to look at those a fair few times rather than just me saying it there and you going straight away, oh, yeah, I've remembered all these, I've got them, I'm going to keep them in my brain forever now, okay? But you might need to look at them again, that's absolutely fine. Let's say that we've remembered all these now. Let's say we've had a little look at them. Now let's go on to how we answer these types of questions. So, these types of questions, the first one, really straightforward. What is the name of a 10-sided shape? If you've got all of these written down in a page at the back of your calculations book, you can just turn to that page and go, okay, let's have a look at this to check my answer. But it's even better if you can keep them in your head. 10-sided shape, I need to think of decade, 10 years, decagon. Okay, so a 10-sided shape is called a decagon. Okay, now we might move on to a slightly more challenging type of question. Now these types of questions are ones again that I would annotate underneath. So it says the sides in a heptagon multiplied by the amount of sides in a nonagon. So however many sides in a heptagon multiplied by the amount of sides in a nonagon. So I would need to know for this question, how many sides does a heptagon have? How many sides does a nonagon have? Well, I know that a heptagon is a 7-sided shape, and I know that a nonagon is a 9-sided shape. So now all this becomes a calculation of 7 times 9. 7 times 9, I would just do my times table. 7 times 9 is going to give me 63. Here, this looks so much more complicated than it is because it says sides in a trapezium multiplied by sides in an octagon minus sides in a right angle triangle. So again, you're thinking, oh, okay, I need to know all of these and I need to know how to do a multiplication and then a subtraction. But actually, let's annotate on and let's write it out as an actual calculation like I've done over here. Sides in a trapezium. A trapezium is a type of quadrilateral. So quadrilateral, think of quad bikes, they've got 4 sides. The sides in an octagon, if I think of octagon, I think of octopus, that's got 8 legs, and so an octagon has 8 sides. And sides in a right angle triangle, it doesn't matter what type of triangle it is, if it's a right angle triangle, a scalene triangle, an isosceles triangle, or an equilateral triangle, they're all going to have 3 sides. So, I've annotated on. And now basically what I need to do is write out the calculation. So what I've got is 4 times 8 minus 3. For these types of calculations, I know that I do the first part of the calculation first. So the first thing that I would do is I would do 4 times 8. 4 times 8 is going to give me 32. And then what I would do is I would subtract 3 for the second part of the calculation. So I would do 32 minus 3 is going to give me 32 in my head, 31, 30, 29. So this calculation, as complicated as it looks, once you know and you're really familiar and you're really comfortable with your 2-sided shapes and what each one of them, the name of each one and what the name of each one of them, as soon as you're comfortable and confident with that, you can say, right, okay, I can annotate on each of these, can write out as a calculation, and the calculation itself is quite an easy thing to do. 4 times 8, I know how to do that, and then I find my answer, and then I take the second part of the calculation away from the answer. 4 times 8 was 32, and now all I need to do is 32 minus 3. 32 minus 3 gave me 29.
If you found this video useful, then I would massively appreciate you liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you want to explore more methods or practice using the method we've looked at here, why not check out the teacher videos at arithmetichub.com. Arithmetic Hub has videos just like this on different methods, specifically targeting areas needed in Key Stage 2. There you can practice one particular skill or generate your own sets of calculations designed to challenge your understanding of all the topics covered in Years 3 to 6.